I'm Rita McGrath, a professor of strategy and innovation at Columbia Business School in the city of New York. So the role of the CIO really has evolved tremendously from the early days when we first started talking about what a chief information officer was. And here I think what we're seeing is the struggle, right, between traditional IT with the backbone and the keeping the lights on and the legacy work and the work that's needed to be done to bring most companies into the digital era. Every company today is a digital company, so the whole concept of having a chief information officer is starting to feel a little bit old, in the traditional sense of, I set the security rules and I keep the lights turning and I run things for lowest possible cost. So I see the best CIOs are doing two things. The first thing that they're doing is they're really retiring old legacy systems. Just because it's old doesn't mean it's bad, but I think the problem with it being old is that it creates inflexibility. They embed processes in companies which can trap them into old business models, old ways of doing business, old ways of looking at customers. And because they're so inflexible, they don't allow change and movement. So I think the first sort of big thing I would look at for CIOs is disengagement, but let's focus it on retiring those old systems. Now, the trouble that many CIOs have with this is you go to your CEO and you say, I want $5 million to retire this thing from the 1960s, and they say, we'll do it for $3 million. And so it's a real resource struggle because the CEO very reasonably says, well, what am I going to get for my $5 million? Well, you're going to get a more up-to-date system. Well, yeah, but what's the ROI on that? And the problem is that it's almost like invisible negative ROI. You're not seeing the cost of that technical debt, you might want to think of it as, because it's so hard to get budget to do that. Because people don't want to, it's kind of like nobody wants to clean up the old, they want to go do the new. So I think that's the first battle a lot of CIOs have to get into. The second battle is really, how do I deal with the pieces of my business that are going digital probably a lot faster than I might have expected? So how do I deal with security? How do I deal with confidential information? How do I deal with people who don't adhere to the rules, because as we've seen with all the hacking and things that are going on, a system is only as secure as its weakest link. So I'd say the best CIOs today really do take both of those challenges on. They're, on the one hand, they're the management team's partner in terms of digital and taking things into the future and what do we have to do to protect the fort. And they're also a force for bringing old systems and old technologies into the future.